Make sure that's up and running. Live, perfect. Good to go. Put this over here. There we go. Let's rock and roll. Add topic. I mean topic. Add topic. Not learn. Fine, it's whatever. Go live. There we go. All right, it's time to cook up, baby. Time to cook up. Let me get this out of the way. Zip up the jacket a little bit. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? See, my tea's a little still a little hot. I'm gonna wait on the tea. What's going on? What's going on? Love your energy. I appreciate that, Matt. I appreciate that. I got some tea today, man. I got some tea. Got some. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what tea it is. It's one of those like Trader Joe packet teas. But it's not bad. It's not. It's more of like a cinnamon type tea. I don't know. How you doing today? How you doing today? What's new? What's shaking? I mean, not a lot for Bitcoin, honestly. These last 4 candles have been just chip choppy, but so far tracking to plan. So far tracking to plan, which is nice. Let's see. I'm on the daily. Yep. Trying to keep the energy up. Let's try the tea. Let's see. Oh fuck, that's hot. Yeah, I gotta wait on that. It's a little hot. Getting ready to pounce on MSTR. What is MSTR at right now? That's a great question. I am too. I'm waiting on that too. What are we at today? 132. I'm holding, man. I'm holding out on MSTR. Let's go to the weekly. I mean, the structure is just so similar to Bitcoin in the sense that it's just not an expanding flat. For like MSTR, you have the A wave and then you have the B wave, which kind of is more shallow, and then we're in the C. Like with Bitcoin, it's like this, and then the B wave is like up to here, and then the C wave, so it's a little bit different, but nonetheless the same stuff. It's because for me, this is the wave. Let's see. As the weekly chart, right? Yeah, so there's still that dip left. That's just, again, that's my opinion, but it just looks very similar to Bitcoin in the sense that we just need one more leg down. So it's close. It's close. It's very close, because on the daily chart, which as soon as this thing ends its chip choppiness, I'm definitely taking advantage of this for sure. Let me make sure I got everything into the screen here. 4,900 gold today. See, for me, gold's topped. I think we're going to see a distribution on gold, in my opinion. Based on everything that we were looking at last week on stream, gold definitely looks topped. And I think there's going to be sell-offs in gold and silver, and that's going to rotate into stocks like MSTR, like crypto. But to me, let me get that out of there. To me, this is like a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then we're in the 5. And of the 5... let me get that into screen here. In the 5, it looks so similar to Bitcoin. I mean, look at this. It has wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then boom, one more dump lower. What is... Yeah, still same thing, that $100 to $80. I mean, we could see a shallow wave 5, right? It could end up, you know, at the 0.786 at 111, but I'm waiting for that once it gets to 100, I think that's when I'll start dollar cost averaging in. But that if we can get to the point, the 1.618 for MSTR at $82, I am pouncing on that thing like a leopard. Ivan, what's going on, man? I hope the nose is doing well. That was terrible. You sent me that video. I hope you're doing all right. Welcome to the stream, though. Welcome to the stream. I know hurts like hell. Well, hopefully we can provide some quality stock content, and we can provide some quality Bitcoin charting that will ease your worries and produce some fruits of capital. Aiden said, "Where is Bitcoin going?" We can jump over to it. I was on MSTR because Matt had a question about MSTR, so we were looking at it. And for me, this is the position I'm looking to load up on once this enters this zone. Once we get into this $100 to $80 zone, I'm taking full advantage of MSTR because on the monthly time frame on MSTR, we have, similar to Bitcoin, where we have that was not a bad good drawing. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement in ABC, and then the next target for MSTR for me is $950. I know that people may say, well, why are you so bullish on MSTR? I just do what the charts tell me, and for what it's saying next after this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC corrective movement, 950 is next. So I am waiting for that MSTR pullback to load up. I made it here because of the nose, though, so no ice today. Well, I guess that's a positive, right, if you view it that way. But yeah, Aiden, we can jump over to Bitcoin for sure, and we can look at it. I actually want to do one more thing on MSTR just to see what that fib retracement looks like. Let me put it to the exact number. Yeah, I mean, 120, I mean, it's already at the 0.786. You know, we probably see a little bit lower, and then boom, we get some explosions off there with Bitcoin. For me, that's why I think MSTR, when Bitcoin performs, MSTR typically outperforms because it's just a leverage play at Bitcoin, so it typically goes a little bit further. And, you know, if Bitcoin's up 5%, you know, MSTR could be up like 20 in a day. It moves very quickly. But let's go over to Bitcoin because I know that's sort of the heart of all crypto, right? If Bitcoin doesn't move, nothing moves. So we got to know what that's doing first. And once we know what Bitcoin's doing, it allows us to, I mean, there are occasions where altcoins will move a little bit differently than Bitcoin. Sure, that's the case with the stock market too, but typically Bitcoin leads and then everything else follows. So Aiden, to answer your question, I mean, look at these candles. If we zoom in like super close on these things, I mean, look at that. It hasn't really done much in the past, I don't know, what, 4, 5, 6 days. It's kind of just hovered around this level. However, we do have an ABC movement, another ABC movement. This to me looks like an A, B, and then we're waiting for the C, and then we'll get the drop. But until then, we are just kind of in Chop City. Right now, I haven't dollar cost averaged in yet. I haven't even touched it. I'm just waiting for the drop, and then as soon as we get the drop, that's when I'll start dollar cost averaging. Who was the gentleman requesting Litecoin yesterday? Are you in the chat? If you are in the chat, let me know, because I said that we were going to start with Litecoin today. So if you're in the chat, let me know, because I want to make sure to do Litecoin while you're here, because it wouldn't make sense if you're not here. Farah said, what pair is this? This is Bitcoin. I don't know how to get... If you're on TikTok, I have it streaming in both vertical and horizontal, so you can flip the screen. Like, the TikTok has that little like square in the corner. If you hit that, you can see my full screen and you'll see it. But this is Bitcoin. I try to give options on TikTok. I want to make sure that those that want to go in vertical can see it, but those that want to see it in landscape can see that as well. So I keep everything in the screen in vertical, but on landscape, you obviously see the rest of what I'm showing. So feel free to go on landscape if you so choose. Tyler said, SCI, Algorand, and VeChain close to all-time lows. Any thoughts on those? I appreciate it. don't get the chat started, Tyler, on VeChain. Don't get them started because they love VeChain. We did look at VeChain. Now, again, full disclosure, I will be buying some VeChain because I do want to take advantage of it. However, again, they're lower market cap tokens. They're very volatile. They follow Elliott Wave theory, but it's not really geared for that. It's more geared for higher market cap, longer price history. Think like indexes. I mean, it can be used for stocks too, but the next target for VeChain from prices right now is the 50x. I think it's a 50 to 70x, somewhere in that range. So I am bullish on VeChain. I do like that they have solid real world partnerships. They have, partnerships with UFC. I know they've done a lot of work with Dana White. So VeChain Mortgage, yeah, don't get the chat started on VeChain. We had someone in there obviously it was all jokes and stuff, but VeChain, I am going to be dollar cost averaging into VeChain. I'm not going to throw a straight fire. Captain Morgan said straight fire. This was a couple weeks ago when we looked at VeChain and everyone said they're selling their soul for capital and buying VeChain. I don't know if Sunny's in the chat yet, but her plan is to go to Aruba and buy an island on VeChain profits. Now, again, not financial advice. But I will be personally buying VeChain. Again, it's going to be with like 1% to 2% of my overall portfolio. I always recommend people have 50% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, another 30% in Ethereum, another 10% in strong alt, and then you can kind of play with the other 10%, throw a little bit into VeChain, throw a little bit into here. But I'm just going to keep it a small percentage of my overall portfolio so that if it does go to zero, I don't lose. But if it does hit a 50x, that's a great trade. But a lot of altcoins do look like they're going to bottom soon based on the charts that we've looked at over the past couple days. Once Bitcoin bottoms, altcoins will typically bottom and then it's off to the races. I may as well put money into altcoins, of course, small percentage, but why not? Yeah, I mean, I do own a lot of altcoins as well, so that is definitely something you want to take advantage of your portfolio, but it's all about proper risk management. I mean, that's the key to investing is making money. I mean, that's really the key. So while you want to capitalize on sort of more volatile, higher, lower market cap plays to, Bitcoin might do what is it at now? If it goes from 50 to 200K, which is my next target, that's a 4X. But if you invest in something like a VeChain and it does a 10X, I mean, you're just leveraging that. So I always put more into the higher cap tokens to preserve capital, but I do play with some altcoins too. Could you do XRP? 100%. Telegram link. I don't do any telegrams, discords, anything like that. I don't have any telegram. Future prop firms. No, I don't do any prop firms as well. I don't day trade. I don't swing trade. I don't use leverage. I don't use any of that stuff. I think that is really glorified on TikTok and just social media in general. You see all these people that are, and that's not a knock on them, right? Like if they are profitable, great for them. But at the end of the day, like 90 to 95% of day traders lose money. And the only way they make money is by selling you courses or selling you Telegram links or signals, Discord channels where, sign up for my Discord channel and I'll send you exactly what I'm buying. Half of it's fucking garbage. They're just pumping you garbage tokens and then you're losing money while they're, making a monthly subscription on you. So I don't do any of that shit. I am purely a spot trader. I just do what the charts tell me. Best quote ever. Yeah, whatever they tell me, man. Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, whatever the charts tell me. If it says it's downside, great. If it says it's upside, great. I try not to have a bias because bias leads to emotional decision making. And when you have emotional decision making, it leads to mistakes. So I try to stick to my strategy as disciplined as I can. And that honestly comes with a lot of mindset stuff, right? You got to go into in trading and investing like it's a battle. You're battling everyone else, right? So you got to try to position yourself accordingly to make money. Can said hello. I think I had missed some parts of your Litecoin analysis. Yeah, we're gonna jump into Litecoin. I just want to make sure. I can't remember who was in here that was requesting Litecoin yesterday. I just want to make sure they're in the chat before we jump over to it, because if they're not here, then I'll just have to redo it. But we can jump over to Litecoin. Let's jump over to Litecoin because let's Where's Litecoin? How do you spell Litecoin again? I forget. Isn't it like that? Litecoin? Yeah. LTC. There we are. Okay, so we already analyzed Litecoin before, which is great. All my stuff is saved, which is awesome. I think we did Litecoin a few weeks ago. Let me just get everything into chart here. Give me 2 seconds. Let me remove this line. So let me see. Litecoin, yup, I answered that. Bitcoin bottoms in is the time to invest in alts. Yeah, once Bitcoin bottom, typically alts bottom as well. And we're seeing that on the charts. A lot of these charts look to have bottoming structure as well. Do you think it still will reach 74K and then drop, or can we get the drop after this stabilization? It can go both ways. So we can either get I do think we see a little bit more upside. You know, do we see 70K? Well, we're kind of near 70K right now, but do we go to 74? Possible. We can also drop from here too. On the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, it does have an ABC structure, like a 3-wave movement up, which technically could be a wave C. But the only caveat to that is that could be how do I describe it? So we'll jump over to Bitcoin. I'll show you what I mean on the 4-hour, so I can answer that. Is this gold? No. So this is Litecoin. We're looking at Litecoin right now. In your Y wave, are you seeing the C wave starting? Yeah. So I'll jump over to that after this, and I'll show you what I mean, or I'll explain it a little bit better, and I'll show you a visual of what I'm saying. Joe said you explained this super awesome, very easy to follow. Well, I appreciate it. I try to make it as simple as possible. I try not to confuse everyone. I'm a simple guy, so I like to keep it simple. I stick to my strategy, and that's what works for me. So I want to because you just see all this stuff. I think everyone tries to overcomplicate investing and overcomplicate trading. What is the goal? The number one goal of investing. It's not buy at the perfect price, sell at the perfect price, predict the perfect targets. All that's just, for me, it's just marketing of people trying to sound super smart so they can sell you a course. At the end of the day, the goal of investing is to make money, and you're trying to position yourself as best you can and dollar cost average in zones of lows and then sell in zones of highs. Are you going to predict it to the perfect penny every single time? No, but you can have zones and say, okay, I'm going to start taking profits here. I bought low, I sold high, I made money. Boom. That's the key to investing. And for me, Elliott wave theory is the best way to gauge when to buy and when to sell. I'm never going to predict it to 100% certainty, but if I can make money, that's all I care about. So, all right, so let's look at Litecoin. For me, based on the current wave count right now, this, let me get everything. Let me try if I can get everything in here. So off of these lows, this is kind of what the structure looks like right now. So we have this wave 1, we have this wave 2, and then for me, what we're in right now is essentially an initial wave 1, a wave 2, and then we should see a 3, 4, and then 5. I know that's a terrible drawing, but this is like the first wave 1, wave 2, we're going to get a wave 3 somewhere up here, wave 4, and then a wave 5 of this wave, this larger wave 3. So you're going to have 5 subwaves of this 3, and then after that you'll have an A, B, C correction for the 4, and then you'll have the 5th wave. So the next target based on the current structure right now for Litecoin is assuming that we target the 1.618. Sorry, I was trying to get my frame of reference here. The wave 3 typically targets the 1.618. It doesn't have to necessarily go there. It could stop short. It could also extend. It really just depends on what this next price action looks like. Like if we get an explosive wave 1 with a wave 2 and then a wave 3 and a wave 4 and a wave 5, that would be in a really explosive next wave, which would then kind of extend this. But the next target for me on Litecoin is $674. That's the next target for Litecoin. Wave 3 needs to be bigger than wave 1, correct. So there's 2 rules with wave 3. Wave 3 either it can't be the shortest wave. It is typically the longest wave, but it can never be the shortest wave. So what do I mean by that? You can't have a wave 1, a wave 2, and then a wave 3 right here, wave 4, and then an explosive wave 5, because the wave 3 would be the shortest. The way that you do that and you see what the wave is targeting is you use this tool right here. It's called the trend-based fib extension. And what this essentially does is it takes the length of wave 1, you put it to the bottom of wave 2, and then you target out what the next wave is going to be. So for this instance, we have this wave 1, we have this wave 2, and then we have the initial wave 1, wave 2, and then we're expecting a wave 3 up. So what do we want to target? Well, we want to see what the next wave is going to be. So you take from the bottom to the top, if I can get it, and then assuming Litecoin maybe retraces a little bit further, $674 is the next target because the wave 3 typically targets 1.618. It has to at minimum go above $435. Or if it doesn't go above $534, it just can't be the shortest wave. So say, for example, you know, this wave 3 stops short of the wave 1, it would mean that the wave 5 is going to be super, super short. You'll have like a short wave 4 and then a wave 5. However, you can also not have a wave 4 retrace into the territory of wave 1. So what do I mean by that? You can't have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3 up here, and then a wave 4 retrace lower than this zone right here. So it has to go above and then the wave 4 and wave 5. But the next target is $674 for Litecoin. Do you think gold will try to form a triangle on this macro 4 or a simple flat correction? I mean, we can look at gold. We were looking at it from more of a longer time frame perspective, and it does look like it's topping soon, but we can take a look at it. Ivan said I need to take a concussion test real quick. Get well, Ivan, get well. I appreciate you coming to the stream, but if you're in a concussion, get some rest. Hello, but can we tell when big wave 3 will end? So essentially the way that we're going to determine when this larger wave 3 is going to end is we'll get the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3 should target $674 next. Then we'll get the wave 4. And once we get the wave 4, then we can target out what the next potential price could be. I mean, we could hypothetically throw in, you know, a fib from sort of this range to 674, you know, and then maybe price retraces to like 400 something, and then we get a price, but it'd be more hypotheticals than anything. Once we get the waves up, then we can be able to tell. If Bitcoin reaches 44 to 46K in the short term, what price range will Litecoin see? I mean, for me, my next targets on Bitcoin is 60 to 50K. I do see some possible lower prices for Litecoin, you know, somewhere maybe, what's it at now, $54 will probably come down. This honestly looks like a lot of the altcoin charts we've been looking at. It's very kind of similar, but I assume based on the structure and the way that it's looking, it almost looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we should see one more wave lower. We probably retrace lower than the February 6th lows, so you probably come down here towards like 40 to, call it $30 to $40, and then we'll pump up. That's kind of what I'm thinking for Litecoin, just briefly looking at the structure. But it's going to retrace with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes down, this will go down as well. How long did it take you to become profitable? Well, I don't. So my thing is, I don't day trade. Like, I don't day trade or swing trade. So I think if that's the question you're asking, I don't do any sort of day trading or swing trading. That's just not what I do. I more so long-term invest. So I buy positions and I hold for, you know, a year or 2 years. I sold some of my altcoins. I didn't sell all of them yet. I don't necessarily sell my Bitcoin. I kind of just dollar cost average in and then hold, because I think that it's going to be a long-term asset. So I don't try to like, hey, let me sell at the top and then buy at the bottom. I don't try to time it. I just use Elliott wave theory as a guide of when to buy and add to my spot position. So I don't necessarily try to really sell it. But I took profits on Solana. I think I made like a 15x on Solana. I made another, I think 15 or 20x on Render. I should have sold my Injective, but I do think that we outperform. My next target on that's like 72. So for me, I kind of just hold and wait. what can we hold long term today? I mean, I like Bitcoin a lot. I like Ethereum. I like XRP. I do think Chainlink has a lot of real world application and it's getting a lot of partnerships. So I do think that's a real world something you can hold long term. I do like MSTR. A lot of people shit on it, but the chart right now is suggesting some pretty good upside. My next targets for MSTR are 100, like $80 to $100, and then 950 is my next target. So a potential 10x on MSTR is a really solid trade for me. So I'm waiting on MSTR to bottom so that I can start dollar cost averaging in. How likely VeChain to go to 60 cents? We can look at VeChain. I mean, again, VeChain's a smaller market cap token, highly volatile, so there's no guarantees with it, but I will be buying VeChain once we get this Bitcoin retrace lower, which will then bring altcoins lower, and I'll be looking to dollar cost average into VeChain for sure. Didn't you say the bottom for Bitcoin is not in yet? Yes, correct. Yeah, so for me, on Bitcoin, we're going to jump over to XRP in a second because I saw that there was a question earlier about XRP. So I want to make sure we get that, but I can jump over to Bitcoin just real quick so you can see sort of the current structure of what it looks like. So I'm still waiting on, let me zoom in a little bit more actually. I'm still waiting on this additional leg down. So this blue, let me change the color of it just so it's a little bit more clear. So I'm waiting for this final leg down. We'll probably get like a little bounce up here, and then we'll get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down. For me, my targets are anywhere between the 1 and the 1.618, which is 60 to 50K. This could change just depending on what price action does. So if we get an explosive wave 1 with a 2, that's going to really adjust the next wave 3 target. But if we get like a 1 like this, a 2, and then a 3 like this, a 4, and then a 5, it's not really going to change much. But once we get this initial push with the pullback, then I'll be able to determine what a wave 3 target is. So I'm just kind of waiting right now until we get the drop, and then we'll kind of analyze it as the drop comes in. It's kind of similar to what we've been doing with this wave 4 pullback. You know, if you've been following me now for a while, I do a Bitcoin update every single morning. Bitcoin thoughts. I think that helps. Gonzo, what's up, Gonz? How you doing? Can you explain why NQ has been accumulating since November? I mean, we can look at NQ. I did a huge analysis on SPY today, which I put out, and I do think SPY still has room to go based on the long-term chart, but it does look like it's going to top. It should be topping soon for the wave 3. We'll get a wave 4 pullback, and then we'll get another push up. Is Bitcoin still target 50K for the lows? Really anywhere between 60 to 50K. That's my target. It can extend lower, but until we get this first initial wave 1 and a wave 2, it's really hard to predict what price will do because I'm trying to predict an entire 5-wave move, which hasn't happened yet, but a good zone based on the fib targets are between the 1 and 1.618, which is like 60 to 50K. So that's what I'm looking for. Raj, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hope you are doing well. I appreciate you coming back to the live. I hope this is helpful too. I hope this is helpful. Gonzo said you could day trade. I could, I just don't have enough time for it is the problem. Because I mean, I could trade off the 4-hour. If you're going to use Elliott wave theory for trading though, the waves that you want to trade are the wave 3 and the wave 5. Those are the only 2 waves that you can trade based on the rules of, it's the highest profitable. So if you were looking at this chart, right, and you wanted to trade this, the waves that you would want to target or trade are this wave 3 and then this wave 5. Those are the 2 trades that you could have taken. So if you saw this initial wave 1 with the wave 2, you could have entered here on, I think the rules state on the 50% pullback. So we did pull back to the 0.5, or I'll zoom in on it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So you could, let me actually, I think I have to invert this first and then do it. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. All right, let me uninvert this. Okay, so technically you can day trade with this or swing trade or however you want to do it. the rules state in Elliott wave theory for like trading or, you know, shorter term trading, let's put it like that, shorter term trading, the waves that you want to trade are this wave 3 and then the wave 5. So after this ABC pullback up, there was a 5-wave move down here for the wave 1, and then you had an ABC pullback for the wave 2. What you would do is try to enter on the 0.5 or the 0.618, price retrace to the 0.5, which was at $114. So you could have entered a trade here, and then basically what you're targeting after that is, give me a second. All right, I'll clean this chart up in a second. So what you're basically targeting is the 1.618, which is, there's like, you take profit at the 1, then you take profit at the 1.272, and then you take the third profit at the 1.618. So for example, this almost hit the 1.618 to a T for this wave 3. So you would have entered on the 0.5 pullback, and then you would have targeted the one for take profit 1, the 1.272 for take profit 3, and then the 1.618 for take profit 3. So you could have taken profit here, boom, TP1 hit, TP2 hit, TP3 didn't hit, and then you got this wave 4 pullback, so you probably would have already closed your trade because it retraced. But that's how you use it if you wanted to day trade with it. I mean, I could do it, I just don't really have the time to do it right now. But that is something that you could do. And then what you would have done then is waited for this wave 4 pullback here. And then where's the 2? And then basically you would have waited again for the 0.382 retrace or the 0.5 retrace. And price retrace to the 0.382, you would have entered the trade here. And then what you would have done then on this wave 5 is you would have targeted the 1.618 on the next trade, which hit. And you're still getting this extension lower, but you would have taken it from, hold on. You would have taken the trade from 94K all the way to about 67. So that's how you could have traded on it if you wanted to. I haven't done anything like that yet. I'm more of a spot trader and looking for bigger positions. However, that is something that you can do on day trading for sure. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I answer all these questions here. Litecoin and Bitcoin charts are quite close to each other. Yeah, very close. And I was thinking of buying spot at 39.40 levels. Thank you for your analysis. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they're a lot of altcoins. We were looking at them yesterday, and we're going to do it again today. You can see such similarities between the structures. It's truly insane. You see like these, it just looks so similar. So once Bitcoin bottoms, all these altcoins are going to put their bottoms in, and then it's off to the races. I have a feeling we're going up from here. I'm sorry. I'm playing devil's advocate here, Raj. While I want price to go up, I have to disagree. I'm sorry. I just, based on what I'm seeing on the charts, we're still due for more downside. Where are we going for Bitcoin? 60 to 50K. That hasn't changed. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, if you've already bought and you're waiting to sell, it's an unfortunate thing because prices will go lower. If you bought right now, obviously you're underwater. But the next target for me after this wave down is 200K. So if you bought it, 68 or 65, that's over what's that? 3x almost, like a 2 to 3x from where it is. So a great trade for sure. Can you do Link? Yeah, we're going to jump over to XRP now, and then we'll do Link. Which coins can give 15x? So I don't really give any price predictions like that, just because it's very hard to tell what lower market cap coins will do. For me, right now, based on my analysis, MSTR has a 10x potential on the table. XRP has a 6x. We'll jump over to XRP right now. XRP has a 6x potential just in its wave 3. And it still could even go higher than that. But for me, XRP has a 6x potential from where it's at right now. And on the monthly time frame, this is what it looks like. It looks very similar to some extent to Litecoin. You have this initial wave 1, wave 2, and then we have this first wave up followed by 2. And what you'll see is this. You'll get a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5. For this larger wave 3. And my next target for XRP based on the Elliott wave rules for the wave 3 extension is $6. That's my next target. I personally own XRP. I'm in it around 50 cents, so I'm waiting till about $6, then I'll take my profits there. That's a nice 10x trade. I'll take that all day. But essentially what we'll have next is wave 1, wave 2. We'll get a wave 3 up here, then we'll get a short correction 4, and then a final leg 5. And then after that, we will have completed this macro wave 3. Okay, I'm back. Ivan, are you doing all right? How are you doing? Sup, Nick? After Bitcoin hits target, by the way, 50 to 60K, do you think it chops for a bit or full reverses? It's hard to tell. I do think we'll see probably a pretty good reaction from that target. The reason I'm saying that is because it's a deep value zone, and I think a lot of people will step in and start buying spot positions there. Maybe they, sold Bitcoin at the top and they want to rebuy in. It's basically like a 50 to 60% retracement from all-time highs. So I do think that we will see some type of reaction at that level. Does it, full reverse and just absolutely go parabolic? Only time will tell. And what we'll want to see, just for your reference, so let me move this chart out of the way so it's just a black screen. So this is the Bitcoin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement that I'm expecting. What we want to see off of this low, so say this low comes in at 60K, what we want to see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement off of this low. That is what we want to see. That means, okay, price is impulsive. We're seeing the first impulsive up. What we don't want to see is this. If we get something like this, where we get an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then we get another A, B, C down, that means more corrections on the table. And for a lot of people out there, that will hurt, myself included, because I obviously want to take advantage of a nice swing to the upside and take some profits. If we get a 3-wave movement off of the low, then basically further corrections on the table, and that can extend a little bit more, but it doesn't change the fact that my next target for Bitcoin is 200K. If we get further correction, it doesn't necessarily change anything because, I'll jump over to Bitcoin. I'll show you what I mean just so you can see it. But XRP, any questions before we go over to a different chart? Will anything outperform MSTR? Yeah, 100%. There's going to be stocks. There's going to be crypto tokens that outperform MSTR. However, I want to preface this out here too, because I think, myself included, right? The biggest challenge that a lot of investors face is their emotions. It's both fear and greed, right? The two biggest emotions that any person faces when putting their money in the stock market or crypto market, whatever market you put, gold, doesn't matter. When you invest money in it, when the trade goes negative, you get fearful and you want to sell. When the trade goes positive, you get euphoric and you don't want to sell. It's like the complete opposite of what you want to do. What I see, and I have to remind myself of this too, what I see when I invest is too many people try to chase these big, huge winners and just try to go all in. Again, the crypto market and stock market, it's not gambling. It's not roulette. It's not, let's go to roulette table, throw all of our shit on black and hope it wins. While it's super exhilarating, that's not a strategy, that's hope. And when you're investing in the thing, it's not, the question you should be asking yourself is, where can I put my money with high confidence that I know the next move is going to be this, whether it be up or down, ideally up if you're trading spot because you're buying the position looking to sell it later. If you're shorting a position, then obviously it's where can I buy and then, take the position short. When you're investing in positions, you want to have a high confidence based on your strategy of, okay, I'm buying here, this is my next zone to sell. For example, XRP. For me, the chart is very clean. We have an initial wave 1, we have an ABC2, and we're in the 3. Okay, I know that for me, I bought somewhere around 50 cents and I'm just waiting. And then off of this low, we had an explosive 1. Let me zoom into it so you can see what I mean. Because I just want to make this really clear because I get these questions all the time. And what the key to investing is making money. It's not how can I make the most money? It's making money. That's your goal. So when you're looking at XRP, right, you have this initial wave 1, then you have an ABC pullback. Okay, what does that tell us? Well, we have a wave 1, we're in the 2, and then the 3 should target 1.618 at $6. That is a high confidence position that I can take and I can target $6. Is it a 15x? Because what's priced at right now? $1.36. I do think we probably see a little bit lower. We probably retrace lower than whatever this low was. What was that? $1.11. I think we see $1 on XRP. I do think we get one more leg lower here and sweep out these lows. But again, your goal is to make money. It's not, hey, where can I invest my money to make, 50x, 100x, 500x? It's where can I park money? Where can I invest with high confidence that I know my buy zone and I know my sell zone? Because typically with these high volatile shit coins, you can make a lot of money, but they can also go to zero very quickly because they don't follow Elliott wave theory. Like I try to invest in tokens and in projects and in stocks that follow this structure so that I have high confidence when I'm investing in it. If I don't have high confidence, I don't put my money in it. And for me, XRP has a great potential here. We have a wave 2, which has retraced now to, and look at that. The 0.786 is at $1. So if we retrace one more to 0.786, that would be a deep retracement for a wave 2, and then boom, we go to the 1.618. Typically, if you get a deep retrace like this, it often extends. So we honestly could see an $8, $9 XRP for this next wave up. No guarantees, but I try to put my money in a spot where I know and I'm confident based on my strategy that I can make money. With all that being said, I know that's a tangent, but XRP is a great option if you want to make a 6x. MSTR for me is a 10x potential. I'm going to be dollar cost averaging there. If you want like a solid play, again, it's more speculative, it's more high risk, there's more volatility for it, but I will say based on the wave movement, VeChain does show promise for a explosive move, and I'll show you what I mean by it, because VeChain could potentially be, it could be a 50x potential just based on the chart, but it's more speculative, so put like 1-2% of your portfolio in it. XLM, yeah, we can do that. No concussion. Okay, good. What's possible low for XRP? For me, I'm looking at maybe $1 as the next zone to dollar cost average. Can you do Sol? Yeah, Sol for sure. We can do Sol. Let's go to XLM. I think let's go to XLM, then we'll go to VeChain, and then we'll do Sol. I don't know if we've looked at XLM on stream before. Let me see. Oh, nope, that's not it. Did I? XLM USD. Spot crypto. Here we go. Okay, so XLM has a clear structure on the monthly. So we have this massive wave 1 push up. If I go down to the chart on like the daily and month or the daily and weekly time frame, it'll be a little bit easier to see, but we have this wave 1. We're in the wave 2 right now. All of this is just corrective. At least it looks like it, because let's see here. This honestly looks like XRP, where we have a wave 1, then we have this big A, B, C corrective, and then we have this wave 1, and then we're in the 2 right now. That's what it looks like on the monthly chart. Let's see. Yeah, because this doesn't look like a wave 1. The reason it doesn't look like a wave 1 to me is because we have a lot of price overlapping. And I'll show you what I mean. Like this, you could say, okay, this is a wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, but the wave 4 right here retraces into the territory of wave 1. So this can't be an impulsive wave up. This to me looks like an A wave, a B wave. And then this almost looks like a C wave down. And then we have the first impulses off the low with an ABC correction. So the next target for me for XLM, and I personally own XLM as well. I bought in, I think right around 9 cents. I think that's what I bought in around XLM, somewhere in this like 9-cent range. Yeah, somewhere around here, like 9-10 cents. But XLM, this is, let me label it. This is the wave 1. The wave 2 for me is right here. And then we're in the wave 3, and then we should see a 4 and a 5. I'll move this on a chart so you guys can see it. But essentially following this structure right here. So we have a wave 1, a 2, we're in the 3, and then we'll get a 4 and a 5 later, but I just want to move this out of the chart here. So of this wave, we've had the first wave 1. We're in the 2, and then we should see a 3, 4, and a 5 to complete this white wave 3 here. Now the next target for me is, we'll probably see another retrace lower, maybe a little bit lower. The next target for me is around $1 for XLM at the 1.618. We could see an extension, you know, to $1.25. Maybe we get an extension to $1.60, but the next target for me is $1 on XLM. Absolutely, Matt. Yeah, absolutely. Link, yeah, we can do Link. Thurman said no relief rally for Bitcoin. For me, it's one more little bump up and then retrace lower to 60 to 50K. And then once we bottom, then my next targets are 200K. Where's the VeChain gain? LOL, amazing work, Nick. Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate it. VeChain gain is strong. We're about to go look at it. Bro, you think the short is now on Bitcoin? There is a big short coming. 70K. I was VeChain is the sleeping giant. Don't get the chat riled up now. Don't get them riled up. But Matt, if that answers your question, XLM for me, the next target's around $1. That's where I'll probably take some profits, just because I've been in since like 9 cents, and that's like a 10x for me. So I'll probably take some profits at $1 and then wait for the pullback 4 and then take some more profits on the for me, Bitcoin, I'm not really trying to target it or trade it, so I'm just waiting for the drop. Once the drop comes, that's going to be like 60 to 50K region, and then we'll see the pump. And for me, the next target's 200K. Let's go over to VeChain, then we're going to go over to Link. I think everything's saved on VeChain, so I don't have to... Yep, there it is. Okay. Now again, I can't preface this enough. This is a smaller market cap token. Yes, we do have a nice wave 1 with an ABC2. It's a deep correction 2, but if it doesn't go past these lows here, this does validate the ABC2. Next target on VeChain's like 43 cents. It's trading at 0.007 right now. So whatever, you do the math on it. I personally will be buying some VeChain here and holding, because, I mean, what's that potential? 0.4 divided by 0.007. I mean, that's a 57x potential right there. So me personally, I'll be taking advantage of VeChain. It's going to be like 1 to 2%. It's not going to be a huge portion of my portfolio, because again, there is also the risk that it can go to 0 because it's a smaller market cap token, but I am targeting 43 cents for the wave 3 at the 1.618. Matt said, thank you. I'm a believer in XRP, XLM, and Hedera. Yeah, I own all 3 as well. XRP, I have a bunch of. XLM and Hedera, I own all of it. VeChain gang is strong, man. VeChain gang is strong. I mean, for me, for the potential of a 50x, I'll throw a 1% of my portfolio at it, because if it hits, I mean, that's a massive win. But if it loses, I'm okay if I lose 1% of my portfolio, knowing that I have Bitcoin, Ethereum as my main, like almost 60 to 80% of my portfolio. My overall portfolio is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Another like 10 to 20% in strong alts, and then I have some other like VeChain and some other just highly speculative tokens at more of a lower percentage of my overall portfolio. You not short it? No, so I don't do any leverage trading. I don't short, I don't long, I spot trade. Is that Shifty? Yeah, I only spot trade. I don't short. I don't look to short or long. I mean, I can do it, but I just don't. I personally wait for good buying zones, then I buy, and then I hold. We seeing 45K Bitcoin. I mean, it's possible, depending on what happens off of this next wave 5 down. We could extend to 45K, but for me, the high probability target zone is 60 to 50K. Once we get price action developed, that could change. But until then, 60 to 50K is my zone that I'll start dollar cost averaging in. Hey Nick, hope you're doing good. Any thoughts on AVAX, please? We did AVAX a while ago. We can look at it real quick, but there's no structure to it. It's really, and this is again back to the point that I was making before. When I invest in tokens, I personally don't own any AVAX, but it's actually very similar to, kind of V-chain almost, right? You see like this big wave one, then you see this ABC2. If we get one more lower, I do think we take out these lows here. I probably to like $6 or $7. We probably target this zone. But using this as the wave one, and say we target, I don't know, $7. The next target on AVAX is like 244 using the 1 point. Let me clean up some of this chart because we don't need to see all of it. We don't need to see all of this. We kind of just want to use it for the 1.618. There you go. The next target for me on AVAX based on a lower, one more dip to the $7 is 244 for AVAX. And that is the 1.618 extension, which is the high probability zone for the wave 3. Hey, what's going on, man? Is that UJ Wald? UJ Wald, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. But AVAX is looking good too. AVAX looks like we have a solid 1 with an ABC corrective 2. And it looks like a deep correction too. Yeah, I mean, we're way under the 0.786, but using this as a guide, somewhere around 244 is a good target. Jake Patrick, what's up, Jake? What's going on? I got support from 2017 on Bitcoin between 50 to 55K. Might be beliefs that would be the bomb. Yeah, I mean, that is a zone of mine that I'm targeting. That 60 to 50K zone is kind of where I'm targeting to dollar cost average in. 34x on AVAX. Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm seeing on AVAX, nothing is invalidated with this structure, meaning, like, in order for this to not be a wave 1, price would have to retrace lower than this low in 2020, which is what? What's that low? Like 85 cents. If price were to come lower than 85 cents, the wave count is invalidated, but until then it's not. We just have a wave 1 with an ABC corrective, and then we should see a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you know, using this as a guide, but I do think AVAX has a partnership with Amazon. So from a fundamental standpoint, AVAX does hold some fundamental value, which is great, which is what you want to see, right? Because you want to merge the fundamentals with the technicals to make a good logical decision. But AVAX does have some high potential here. Check out River Token. What is River Token? Wait, we're going to do Link. What was after Link? What was after Link? I forget. We did VeChain, we did Link. We can do River Token. Should you think about buying Bitcoin now or hold till drop? I'm not buying right now. I'm waiting for the drop. I'm waiting for the drop to 60 to 50K. I'm waiting for this. I'll show you. I'll describe my strategy. Here's my strategy so that you guys can be sort of informed on what I'm obviously going to document it and like tell you what I'm doing over like the TikTok videos and TikTok live. Like I'll be like, hey, this is where I'm buying, but this is going to be my strategy. So let me zoom in on this a lot. So here's what we got right now, right? We have this developing, oh, hold on. We have this developing wave 4, right? This wave 4 right here, which was still, you know, we have an ABC, W, ABC, Y, and then we have this ABC, ABC, W, ABC, X, and then we're in the Y. Now, once this Y kind of completes, you know, does it complete here? Does it, you know, pump up a little bit more? Doesn't matter to me. I don't care where it pumps up to. Does it pump up to 80K? Does it pump up to 70K? I don't give a shit. What I care about is what happens next. So I'm waiting for this pump up, or it could happen now. It doesn't really matter. But once we get this initial wave 1 down and then the wave 2, on this wave 3, this zone right here is when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in. So I'll dollar cost average in on this wave 3 down. Then after the wave 3, I'll wait for the wave 4. And then on the wave 5, I'll dollar cost average in a little bit more on the wave 5 to take advantage of just lower prices. And for me, that happens probably we get like a, I don't know, say we go up to like 70. We get a wave 1 down to maybe these lows, wave 2. And then on this wave 3, once we break these lows, it's just buy for me. And then I'll just be loading up and then saving it for the long term. How high will we go before it does the 5-way down? I mean, based on this current structure, if we're using wave 1 being the same length as, or wave C being the same length as this initial wave A, somewhere maybe like 70 to 72K, maybe somewhere in this zone. It's really hard to tell right now just because price is so choppy, but we can use that as a semi-guide for it. But it doesn't really, for me, it doesn't matter because as long as price continues to do what it's doing, there's still this drop down. Like we still need to see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leg down. So it doesn't matter how high it goes. Again, I'm not looking to short it, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not trying to time this perfect entry. I'm just waiting for this drop. That's all I'm waiting for. And once that happens, I'm going to be taking advantage of those prices for sure. How confident are you we revisit 60 to 50K best timeline prediction days week? So confidence-wise, very confident in sort of the structure and playing out. Like I would put my confidence definitely over like 50, 60, 70%, definitely over that. Now, as far as timeline, it's hard to tell because what could happen is this could turn into a further correction, meaning we get the W, the X, you get another bounce here, then you get another bounce, then you get another bounce. So it could chop around for a little bit longer, which is hard to tell. If we get this initial wave 1 down with the 2 and the 3, it helps. But I mean, this honestly could take to the end of March. It could even push into April. Could it push into tax season, after tax season? Possible. People maybe maybe they take some profits and use it for tax money, but it could push into the end of March. It could push into the end of April. I don't really trade based on time. I trade on price. Yeah, we can. Oh, Sol was next. That's right. Yeah, Sol. We'll jump over to Sol. Could we look at Algo if you have time? Thanks, bro. Yeah, absolutely, JC. What's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. Could we do Link? We just did Link. I'll jump over to it quickly because we're going to go to Sol next. But this is basically the next wave for Chainlink. So, or did we do Chainlink? I don't know if we did Chainlink, but Chainlink looks like this. It's similar to basically a lot of the altcoins, similar to AVAX. It's less, so AVAX looks like this. We have the wave 1 with the A, B, and then the C lower. Link didn't do that. We just had a wave 1. This was a wave 2. And then we have this initial wave 1 with this like complex corrective structure. But the next target for me on Chainlink is right at $36. That's my next target for Chainlink. But let's jump over to Sol, because I know Sol was... I think all my stuff is saved from Sol. Yeah, all of it's saved, which is phenomenal. So let me get this all on a chart here. So this is essentially the structure we have for Sol. Sol is really clean. So like Elliott Wave Theory perspective, Sol is a really clean chart. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 initial wave 1. Then we have this wave 2 down, which just really consisted of like an A, B, and then an A, B, C structure down. And then we have this initial wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, which is the large wave 5. For me, the next target on Sol is $533 using... I'll show you how I did it. So you take the trend-based fib extension, you take it from the bottom of wave 1 to the top of wave 5. And then I'm assuming we probably see like $65 on Sol. We'll probably get one more push down. So yeah, the next target on Sol, once we get this lower sort of push down here, is $530 is my next target for Sol. Python Ondo. So Python Ondo, those, we looked at Python, there's no structure to it. Honestly, I can tell you, looking at, we did Python, we did Ondo, it looks like this. It literally looks like this. So Ondo kind of just looks like that. There's like no structure to it. And Python was a little bit cleaner. It had like a 1, and then it was like this choppy shit down. Again, Elliott Wave Theory is more geared for longer priced established tokens, things with a lot more price action. Like Solana, you can clearly see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement. Then you get this ABC movement down. Then you get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement. Then you get an ABC movement. Like Solana is a clear picture of a token that I have high confidence in buying, because it's so clear on the chart. When I am investing in tokens, stocks, whatever the thing is I'm investing in, I want to see clear wave counts. If I don't see that, I don't buy, because it's so, you're taking a risk because you don't know where the price is going. For Solana, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, and a wave 4, and a wave 5. And then boom, we get a 3-wave correction. And using this correction right here, we probably retrace to like $69, maybe sub 0.786. So maybe we see like 69, maybe 60 Solana next. And then boom, the next target's 530. But when you have like clear charts like this, like Bitcoin, really clear chart, XRP, really clear chart, XLM had a clear chart. Surprisingly, AVAX had a pretty decent chart too, but like clear charts like this, I have higher confidence investing my money in, because I want to see things like this. With Ondo, it literally just looks like this. It's just like one big up and one big down. So it's just, for me, it's just not high confidence. I don't want to put my money there. Now, as the token progresses and we get more price action, we can invest in Ondo, but until we see that, it's really hard to make a decision on where it's going to go. Does your Bitcoin chart include any Clarity Act movement? So I don't trade on news. I don't invest on news. I let that, I don't factor in any news. I don't use any RSI, moving averages, anything like that. I just use the technicals. I just use Elliott Wave theory. I'll go, Nick. I'm in so much pain, can't focus at all. No problem, Ivan. I will see you next one. Get better. I hope that you feel better. But yeah, again, I appreciate you stopping by the live. But yeah, if you're in pain, go rest. With Elliott Wave, what time frame is most accurate or important? For me, I use the monthly, then I go down to the weekly, then I go down to the daily to analyze a lot of these charts. So it really just depends on like your time frame. For like monthly, for example, you're going to be investing on a larger time frame. Weekly, maybe a little bit smaller. Daily, a little bit smaller. The way that I like to do it is like if you see a big movement like this, right? This big movement right here. For Solana, it's clear on the monthly chart. Like you can see a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement up. But if you couldn't see that on the chart, like if you just saw a big wave up, what you could do is go down to the weekly. And on the weekly, then you can analyze, okay, on this weekly chart, I'll zoom in here. On this weekly chart, okay, it's even more clear on the weekly chart for this 5-wave movement. Like you can see, okay, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then this wave 5. So I only typically go on the monthly, weekly, and daily. And if I can't see it clearly on the monthly, I dive down to the weekly, and then I see the wave movements. If I can't see it on the weekly, I go to the monthly. I don't really go much slower than that. I mean, I could trade the 4-hour if I wanted to like day trade or swing trade. I could do the 4-hour. You can use Elliott Wave theory on any time frame you want. All this stuff happens across everything, so you can see this wave movement on hourly charts, 15-minute charts. It's kind of clear on a lot of things. Do you see the clear wave structures with SUI and HBAR? And if so, what is the respective pricing? Yeah, we can look at SUI and HBAR. I do own HBAR. I don't own SUI, but I think we have the analysis for SUI on there. I know Jake Patrick said River token. What is River? I've never heard of River. What is River token? What are we looking at here? It is pumping, but see, like this is a Moon River, I think. I just pulled up River USDT. I have no idea what this token is, but if we look at this token, right? So this is the River token USDT spot. It launched in September, so it's brand new token. But if you look at this, right, this is a good example to showcase how you can use Elliott Wave theory and when rules are invalidated. So some people will look at this chart and say, okay, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then we should see a wave 5. However, this wave 4 retraced into the territory of wave 1, so that wave count is invalidated because this wave 4 crossed into this territory, which means it cannot work. It doesn't work. So this is just an unknown territory right now. Like you could trade it on the 4-hour chart, maybe trade this next move. If you go to the 4-hour chart, you can see, but this is kind of a no man's land right now because there's no real structure to it, specifically on the longer time frame. Justin said, like, Python, there's nothing accurate for LA Wave because... Correct, yeah. So, like, River, for example, it's brand new. It launched, like, 6 months ago. When using Elliott Wave theory, you want to... It's more geared toward, and it's higher confidence, it's higher success rate on token stocks projects that have longer price history because you can see clear wave movements on it. When you're dealing with tokens that just launched, they're more speculative than anything, and you don't necessarily know, is the market, is the token going to get traction? Is it going to go to zero? You just don't really have a lot to go off of. So when I'm investing, I want to find, and I think this is what I think maybe gets people confused because you see it, and I kind of fall into this camp sometimes too, but my thought process is you see it all the time on crypto, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, any social media. You see everyone talking about you need to invest in the new tokens first because they're going to give you the highest potential chance to do the biggest multiple, right? Like I see this all the time. It's like, what is the newest token I can invest in to make a 50x? What is the newest token I can invest in to hit 100x? 99% of the time, you're investing in a token purely on speculation and a hope and a dream that it's going to hit a 50x. And most of the time, it retraces and then you lose all your money. And you see it time and time again. And I think if we can take a different angle on investing, because look at Solana, for example. It's a more highly established token, larger market cap. You would think, oh, well, Solana's not going to do a 10x. Like it can't, right? But it's already done a 10x from the lows and it still has room to go. So I think if we can flip our brain and look at things from a risk management standpoint and get the thought process around, hey, this token is older. Like, for example, even MSTR, like, is an older stock. It still did a massive multiple. Look at gold. You would never think gold would outperform, but look at what it's doing, right? It's outperforming a lot of shit right now. It will have its correction, true. It will go down, but gold has absolutely gone ape shit, and it's typically like a stable thing, and it doesn't move, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200% moves. Like it's silver. I mean, it's a massive move. So I think flipping the script and saying, you know what, let me invest in something that has more price history, more price action, less volatility, and then identify zones of buying and selling. Again, the goal is to make money. Are you going to make a 50x every trade? No. Are you going to make a 2x trade every time? No. It's a matter of making money, and it's not, you got to get the thought process of get rich quick out of your mind. That is the number one thing you got to get out of your mind, because that oftentimes is leading with emotional bias, and you're hoping, you're dreaming, I need to make money as quick as possible. But invest in things that are, I guess, more safer and have longer price history so you make better decisions. I hope that helps, or that makes things a little bit clearer. But yeah, for example, like Python Ondo, there's just really not much to go off of. Can we tell months maybe where wave 3 ends? Hard to tell, really hard to tell. Again, try to get the thought process of get rich quick out of your mind, because more often than not, you're going to make emotional decisions, you're going to lose money. And that may be contrary to again, I talk about crypto a lot, I talk about stocks a lot. It may be contrary to most of these crypto fucking gurus, but if I'm being completely honest, fuck them. Most of them just shill you random shit. You lose money, they make money because they're, they have a big following, they're doing subscription plans, telegrams, courses. Hey, I'm going to tell you the next 50x token from my insider. Join my Telegram group, pay $40 a month, and you'll know exactly what next token is going to be 50 to 100x. Honestly, fuck those people. I'm going to say that boldly because fuck them. They rob people of so much money. And if there's anything that I can do in this crypto and stock space is help others not lose money to that, because it's such a scam. Don't listen to those people, and don't let the euphoria and greed clog or cloud your judgment. The goal of investing is make money. That's the goal. Let's be safe about it. Let's protect our capital, but let's also make solid investment decisions, and the gains will come. Don't worry about that. The gains will come. How's March looking for Bitcoin? I do think March is going to be a more of a downward movement on Bitcoin. Do you do private consultations? I haven't really done any of that yet. I mainly try to stick to TikTok lives and just not TikTok live, just live streaming in general, so I can provide, token requests when you guys come in here. We can analyze tokens together. I am going to be doing more long form content. So for those of you that are interested in like market analysis, both from like a smaller time frame and a larger time frame, I am going to be doing like more long form content on my other socials. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check me out on those other things, because I will be doing, like, I'll take a stock, for example, I'll take Coinbase, or I'll take PayPal, or I'll take these other things, and then I'll analyze it and then do like a 10 to 15 minute video on it, so you can see, okay, what's the current wave count, where are some buy zones, where are some sell zones. That is something that I'm probably going to be doing starting tomorrow. But maybe in the future. I have had a lot of people ask for coaching, or like, hey, do you do like private coaching or group coaching to train me on Elliott wave theory, or just like provide signals and things like that. I have had people ask me about that. I just haven't done anything like that yet. Aerodome Finance, we can look at that. Thanks a lot for your time. Learn a lot about Elliott wave. Yeah, again, I try to be a beacon of clarity in a, I guess, chaotic crypto space, because everyone gets so fucking hype about this shit. Again, the goal is make money. Make money. All right, so what was the next one? Aerodome Finance. Is that Aero USD? Let's see here. I'm trying to see which one has the most. Let's see, Coinbase, Kraken. That one looks a little bit different. Bybit. That one looks. I want to see which one has like the most price action on it. I mean, honestly, it looked like the Coinbase one had the most price action. All right, so let's go, and honestly, this looks a lot kind of similar. Oh, let me get it on the screen. This honestly looks very similar to kind of AVAX a little bit, because you have like this initial wave one, then you have this like A, B, C, D, E type structure. This to me just looks like a corrective 2, but there's really no clear wave movements here on this wave one on the, let's go to the daily time frame. Okay, so looking at this on the daily time frame, I mean, this could be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I mean, it does have some wave movements. Let's look at it on the monthly. To me, it just looks like it's in corrective zone. This is definitely a wave 1. Now, the question is, how far have we retraced this wave 1? It's definitely a deep retrace for sure. Yeah, I mean, we're still in corrective mode. This is just all corrective. So using this as a guide, I do think, again, this is like the thesis for all altcoins. I do think we see one more lower drop, and Aerodyme's no different. The structure just looks like we're going to see another drop, probably come down to this, whatever this candle low was. What was that? What was the low on that? Like 27 cents. So probably somewhere in like 25 cent range. Maybe we get a 27 cent, 26 cent. But once we get this last drop, it'll probably come in something like this, and then we'll get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement off of these lows. I think once we get this dip, probably take out this low. The next target on Aerodyme, hold on, let me get this in the screen. The next target on that is right at $4. So I don't know what that multiple is, but once we get a lower target here, probably towards like 26 cents, then we'll get a pump, and it'll look something like this towards $4. That's the next target on it. Let's see. Do you go live every day? So my schedule right now is Sunday through Thursday, between 6 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Eastern time is when I go live. Yeah, so I go live Sunday through Thursday. So I guess that's like basically every day. I reserve Fridays for date night with my wife, and then Saturdays typically I hang out with my friends and whatnot. So Sunday through Thursday I do go live all those days. H-Bar and Sui, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do H-Bar Sui. Triple D said, if you decide to do some coaching, please sign me up. I understand not financial advice, but would appreciate advice. Yeah, 100%. There's like 5 or 6 people that have been interested in coaching. I just haven't done anything like that yet. Yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. It's something I'm mulling on for sure. Something I'm mulling on for sure. How about Bitcoin? We can do Bitcoin for sure. What was that? Guys, anyone need help? DM me, guys, to provide gold free. No, Keelan. We're not doing no fucking promos, no signals, no telegrams, none of that bullshit. We don't do that. Again, the crypto space is riddled with that. There's no signals. No. We're not doing signals and courses and scamming people. No. So you banned. I don't know how to ban him, but banned. He's not allowed in here anymore. Please also sign me up. Okay, so it seems like coaching is something I might have to do, but until then, I will be doing the lives and then more of the long form content on my other socials. That is something I'll be doing, which I think will be a good starting point, and then we can get into the coaching. Maybe that's like a group coaching thing. Like there's, maybe I'll set up a group thing and then we can do group coaching, or maybe one-on-one. I don't really know what that'll look like, but stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're going to do Sui, then we're going to do H-Bar, then we're going to do Bitcoin, and then I'm going to get off and eat dinner because it's already 7:30. So we'll do those 3 to end. Sui, Bitcoin, and then H-Bar, and then I'm going to go eat dinner. And then Matt said, can we add SCHD to the list? Yeah, 100%. Let's start with SCHD tomorrow. That'll be the first one we start with tomorrow, Matt, because I do want to take a look at that. So we're going to end with Sui, H-Bar, and then we'll do Sui first, then we'll do H-Bar, then we'll do Bitcoin last, and then we'll start with SCHD tomorrow. Okay, so let's go to Sui. That's the Aerodyne chart, which actually looks pretty good. I don't know what was the multiple on that. If we go to what? $4 divided by 26 cents. I mean, that's a 15x. That's a good potential right there. So Sui, okay, perfect. All my stuff is saved on Sui, so this makes things a little bit easier. So Sui looks like this. So this right here, all this was just corrective. There's no real impulse there. Now, we do have a 1, 2, I labeled it here on the monthly. You can't see it on the monthly, but on the weekly, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure here. So this whole movement up was the initial wave 1. That's the initial wave 1. And then we have an A, B, and then a C structure down. Now with Sui, it almost looks like MicroStrategy, where we have this like flat structure. And of this flat structure, you get an A, you get a B, and then you get a 5-wave movement down for the C. On the daily time frame, you essentially have this. You have what looks, so let me get all this in. So on Sui, you essentially have something like this. So we have this A wave, then we have this complex A, B, C, B wave, and then we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement down. Again, Sui's probably going to retrace a little bit lower, probably take out this beginning of February low, probably go down to like, I don't know, 60 to 70 cents, probably like 70 to 80 cents. We'll get one more leg lower, and then once we get one more leg lower, the next target on Sui is almost $9, $8.70 for Sui. And this will be the wave 1, this is the wave 2, this will be the wave 3, and what you'll get is something like this. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure towards around $8.70. So Sui again looks to be putting in a potential 10x on the next trade as well. So if we get a retrace to like 70 cents, the next target for Sui is around $8.70, which would be like a 10 to 12x, which again, I don't own Sui personally. I didn't buy any on this initial wave up. But with the prices, what they're looking at right now, the fundamentals of Sui, I might be taking advantage of Sui as well. I'm trying to figure out which altcoins I want to buy. I think for me, I'll probably buy some more Bitcoin. I'm going to buy some MSTR. I'm going to buy some VeChain, and then I'll probably add some Sui on there as well. Okay, so Sui, next target around $8.70. Let's go to HBAR. And then we'll end with Bitcoin. Do I have anything for... Is this what... I think we looked at HBAR before. Is this all my saved drawings? Yeah, okay, perfect. So that makes things a little bit easier because everything's saved from the last stream. So nothing's changed on this one either. So let me get the whole thing in here. Let me change this to white so you can see it. So it kind of looks like Sui. It almost looks... I mean, it kind of looks similar to like XLM a little bit. When we were looking at it earlier, like we had this initial wave 1, then we had this A, B, and then C structure, and then we're in this wave 3 right now. Of the wave 3, we've had this initial wave 1, and then we're in the ABC pullback 2. The next target for HBAR is 65 cents. Again, we'll probably see one more lower dip because Bitcoin's going to dip from, what is it at now? Like probably 70K to like 60 to 50. So what is that? That's like a 10 to 15% decline. So we'll get a 10 to 15% decline on Bitcoin, probably from 70 to 55. That'll probably move altcoins down 20 to 30%. So we could see, I don't know, maybe a 7-cent HBAR. And then the next target on that is 65 cents for HBAR. 4-hour chart? Yeah, we can do 4-hour chart for sure. So HBAR, again, I personally own HBAR. I want to say I'm in somewhere around 5 cents. I'm in at HBAR. I'm in somewhere in this range right here. This low down here. I bought HBAR. And I'm waiting for this wave 3 next, which is right around 65 cents. That'll be a 10x. I'm fine with that. I'll take some profits, and then I'll wait for another pullback and then the further extension and take some more profits. Now, if HBAR extends, I mean, it doesn't have to go to the 1.618. It could go to the 2.618 at $1. If it goes to $1, I'll be taking my profits. And nice. I think HBAR has like 15 ETS pending. That is also a thing as well. So from a fundamental standpoint, I like HBAR. From a technical standpoint, I do like HBAR as well. For me, great things on the horizon for HBAR. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin, and then I'll end it there. And then I'm going to go eat some tacos because my wife Summer made some tacos. I don't know if she's in the chat, but I am going to be eating some tacos, and I'm excited for that. Bailey said, yo, fam, what's going on, Bailey? What is going on? We're taking a look at Bitcoin now on the 4-hour chart, and I will show you what I was talking about earlier. So let me zoom in here. Give me a second. Again, on TikTok, I am, you on X? Yeah, so I have all the socials. I'm on X, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, all of them. I got all of them. And I post everything on there too, like all my short form content I post. But let's go to the 4-hour chart and let's zoom in. We'll just zoom in on the wave 4. So we're not going to look at all the other stuff. We're just going to look at the wave 4. Let me see if I can get it all in. Okay, so this is the wave 4, right? Now on the 4-hour chart, you can see all this is just chop. There's no impulsive moves to the upside. Is this the Elliott wave strategy? Correct. Yeah, so what you have in Elliott wave theory is you get 5-wave impulsive moves, 3-wave corrective moves. The reason that, and there can be complex corrections, but to keep it simple, you have 5-wave impulsive moves, 3-wave corrective moves. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Jupiter if you have a minute, or a quick recap of, I do own Jupiter. I do personally own Jupiter as well. I bought it at like 50 cents. I think I'm either break even or a little bit underwater. That is one that I bought purely on fundamentals, not on Elliott wave theory, because that again is a newer token. I bought it just purely on a fundamental. I heard about the token and I was like, this seems like a good token. I'm going to invest in this. A small percentage, again, a small percentage. So I didn't allocate a huge portion because obviously it's a newer token. I didn't really know what was going to happen. And I think I'm underwater a little bit on Jupiter. How long have you been in crypto? I really I didn't really buy in. I had some in the 2020, 2021 cycle. I sold most of it, and then I bought heavy in 2022 and 2023. 2022, I bought heavy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then in 2023, I bought heavy in altcoins and have just been holding them now for the past 3 years. Or 3-4 years now. Damn, 2022, man, that goes so fast. Carla, what's going on, Carla? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. We're looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. There's a bunch of questions. Did you say anything on Bitcoin? Covering that right now. Okay, so you know what? Let's do this. So this is the way. What is that? Oh, a little heart thing. That was cool. Thanks, Joe. Heart me. That was cool. That was awesome. Okay, so on this wave 4, right? This wave 4. This is a complex wave 4, and the reason that it's a complex wave 4, I'll describe why. So you initially get this wave A, wave B, wave C. Okay, boom. That's a 3-wave corrective movement of a wave A. Then you get this just choppy corrective B. Then you get another C. Okay, so now we have an A, B, C of a W. Then you get this A, B, C movement down for this X. And then right now we have an A movement, a B movement, and then I'm waiting for this C movement to complete for the Y. And that for me will be, hold on. That will be sort of the complex structure where we have an A, a B, a C for the W, then we have an A, B, C for the X, then we have an A, B, C for the Y, and then we should see the impulse to the downside. Could there be further correction? Sure, but if you look at this structure right here, let me zoom in a little bit more. So if you look at this, just this Y right here, it almost looks like we have this A wave, then we have this B wave, and then we almost have like an A, B, C wave, but price didn't impulse out of it. It almost looks like we have an A wave, a B wave, and then we have this complex C developing, and it looks like we have an A, B, C of an A, then we have a B, then we should get an A, B, C of a C. Nonetheless, we still have more corrective. That's kind of what I was getting at on the 4-hour, is there's a little bit more correctiveness to go on. And once we top here, wherever we top, do we top at 70K? Do we top at 74, 75? It doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care. But we should see a big impulse out of that. And for me, that will be the start of the drop. And on the daily time frame, this is what it looks like. So after this wave 4 is done, this is basically my anticipated path for it. We get this, ABC complex WXY structure. Then we should see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement down in the range of 60 to 50K. That's what I'm targeting next for Bitcoin based on the rules of Elliott Wave Theory, targeting between the 1 and 1.618 for the wave 5. Joe said, sorry, but no worries at all. No worries at all. Do you analyze based on sentiment or just purely Elliott Wave? The beauty of Elliott Wave Theory is it combines a psychological portion of it. And typically where you see like psychological portions is, I'll give you an example. So let me go to SPY. Hold on. So I looked at this earlier today. Is all my stuff, so my stuff is still saved. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Let me zoom in on it. Okay, so this is SPY on like a massive time frame. This is, and I'll show you what I mean by why there's psychology behind it. So this is SPY on like a huge time frame. This is all the way back from 1990. Triple D said, thank you, God be with you. God bless as well. I appreciate that. So with Elliott Wave Theory, you get this initial wave 1, and then you have on SPY, we have this massive, like multi-year ABC corrective. Now, in this zone, for this 2, right? That's back in 2008. What happened in 2008? It felt like the world was ending, right? Everything's going to zero, the world's ending. And that's part of what happens in wave 2. You get this like super doubtful, super fear. Everyone thinks the world's crashing. Everything's going to zero. This rally's not going to continue, right? This, bubble in the dot-com bubble, basically this huge correction. This, I bet at that, I was young at the time, so I don't really know what the fear was, but I bet at the time people thought this was going to continue lower and retrace, the price from 1994. But that's typical of wave 2. Like, that's what happens in wave 2. And then if you look at Bitcoin, we're currently in a wave 2. So if you look at this, or let me go to a different chart that doesn't have all my drawings on it. I'll show you what I mean. So this structure right here, this is a wave 1. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have this ABC structure. This is a wave 1. And we're in the 2. Let me just move this out of the way. So we're in this 2. And what comes in a wave 2, you get a lot of fear. You get a lot of doubt. You get this rally's, never going to extend. You get people calling for 15K Bitcoin, calling for 30K Bitcoin, calling for this huge dump lower. The world's coming to an end. All this crap. That's what happens in a wave 2. And that's why people get caught off guard, because this wave 2 happens, then guess what? Boom, right to the upside. And that's what happened on SPY. If you go back to 2008, after that massive multi-year wave 2, you get a huge explosion wave 3. And for me, that's what's next for Bitcoin. So once we correct here and finish this ABC corrective movement, we're going to get, somewhere at 55, 50, whatever the price bottoms at. We're going to get a massive wave 1 with a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 off the lows. So we're going to get these massive explosions off the low while everyone's opening shorts. Everyone's opening, everyone's thinking we're going to 15K, 20K, we're going to 10K. I've seen it all. And that's what comes in wave 2. So like Elliott Wave kind of has some psychology behind it, but I don't really look at any of the narratives or news or anything like that. I purely just look at the technicals. Hi, Nick. Thanks so much for the consistent, amazing streams. Thanks. I appreciate that. I will continue to be here Sunday through Thursday, not every day, but I will continue to show up because I love this shit. I really do. And it's fun to have I don't know. It's cool to have you guys in here and talk about some stuff, look at charts that I may not have thought about and be like, oh, wow, this chart actually looks pretty cool. Let's analyze it. So it's nice to have the community in here too and help each other grow. Would you buy big bags of top alts for the higher multiple return or rather Bitcoin? So my strategy with investing is, and this could be if you're into stocks, if you're into crypto, it doesn't really matter. But for me, when I'm investing into crypto, I want to take a look at my overall portfolio. I want to say, okay, here's my overall portfolio, right? I have, well, let's do some math here. Let's do some math. Let me move this out of the way and let's do some math. So say, for example, you had, $1,000 to invest. So you had $1,000 to invest and you said, okay, I want to look at crypto. I want to buy some crypto. I got $1,000. I'm using $1,000 because it's an easy number. I can do percentages on it in my head. Very easy. I would take 50% of that, so $500, put it into Bitcoin, right into Bitcoin. The big BTC, put it right into Bitcoin. Now you have 50% of your portfolio in a less volatile, more price proven asset. Then you take another 30%, put that into Ethereum. So now you have $300 in Ethereum. Boom, right into F. So now you have a portfolio that is 80% of the major tokens. Then you take another, call it 10 to 15%, and put it in strong altcoins. Think XRP, XLM, SUI, things with larger market cap. Just look at the top 10, top 15 market cap. Solana is another good one too. So take another, 100, what's that, 10%, 10 to 50. So take another 100 to 150 and put that into strong altcoins. Look at the top 25, major market cap tokens that have good fundamentals. They have real world application. Put another $100 to $150 in there, which is 10 to 15% of your portfolio. Now, with that, you have $500 in Bitcoin, you have $300 in Ethereum, you have say you put in $150, so 15% of your portfolio in strong altcoins, and you could divide that 150 up, put $50 into SUI, $50 into Solana, $50 into XRP, boom. Now what's that? You have 50, That's 80% and then 95. Then with the other 5%, so the other $50, split that up into a low cap token that you're fine with it going to zero. You could put it into VeChain. You could put it into, some smaller market cap gem that has good fundamentals, good Elliott wave structure. You look at the chart and say, okay, this has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement with a 2. I'm going to invest in this. But if your portfolio goes to shit, if this goes to zero, if this goes to zero, guess what? You have $800 invested out of the 1,000 in safe tokens that will consistently do 3, 4, 5, 10, 6x's from the bottom. And I don't think these larger market cap tokens will go to zero. So you have 95% of your portfolio in a risk adverse position, and then you can get aggressive with your other 5% of your portfolio. You can put it into some low cap fucking meme coins that might hit 100x, but if it goes to zero, you're protected because you have a big majority of your portfolio covered and secure in safer assets. Or you could put it into an NFT and just go really risk adverse. You could put it into some NFT that could go to zero, but it could also 500x. So when I'm thinking about investing, this is how I do it. I take my portfolio, whatever it is if it's $500, if it's $1,000, if it's $10,000, if it's $100,000, whatever you're working with, divide it up into percentages. Put 50% in Bitcoin, put 30% in Ethereum. You could also consider like XRP and Solana in that Ethereum category, but I would mainly go 50% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, 15% in Solana, XRP, Chainlink, large market cap token with good fundamentals, and then put 5% in whatever the fuck you want. If it goes to zero, great, but if you hit 100x, you're jumping for joy. And that allows you to play emotionally strategic, because we all know, for all the guys in here, girls too, but gambling is more of a dude thing. Just dudes like to gamble. I like to gamble. But it allows you to feed your inner degen, and it allows you to partake in these low shit cap coins, and you're kind of feeding your dopamine in the sense that like, oh wow, I'm in this token, like it's going up 500% in a day, but you're not risking your entire portfolio and losing 95% of your portfolio, but you're still partaking in that like emotional fun sort of like, I guess, gambling-esque emotion, if that makes sense. But this is my strategy. So this is what I would recommend. Again, not financial advice, but this is what I would recommend to everyone, because it eliminates the greed and euphoria of trying to hit 50x's, 100x's with large majority of your tokens. And then guess what? They go to zero, and then you get pissed and you're like, crypto's a scam, all this shit. Well, no, you just had a poor risk management strategy and you went all in on Pengu, throw Pengu in there. But like VeChain, again, VeChain does potentially have a 50x on the table, but I'm only risking 1 to 2% of my portfolio in it. If it goes to zero, whatever. If it hits a 500x or a 50x, I'm jumping for joy. So that's my strategy. Dub strat, yeah, that's what I do. Lance, what's going on, man? How's it going? Do you think Bitcoin will go lower than the price now? I predict about 40K. What about you? For me, my zone is 60 to 50K right now. Once more price action develops, once we get... I'm also getting really hungry, so I might end the live here in the next... I'll do one more. I'll answer a few more questions, then I'm going to go get food because I am starving. But essentially what I have next for Bitcoin is something like this. So my targets are 60 to 50K. However, once we get this initial 1 with the pullback 2, we'll have some targets for the 3, then we'll get the pullback 4 and targets for the 5. So as this structure right here develops, it could change. But right now, based on the price action that I have, 60 to 50K is my high confluence target. If the current correction for Bitcoin is wave 2, how do we analyze Elliott wave theory on previous charts? You mean more on like a longer time frame? For me, Bitcoin on a long time frame, like if you analyze it from like basically the start of Bitcoin, we have, I know that's like not super zoomed in, but we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. We've already had a 5-wave movement. Then we had an ABC correction that ended in 2022. And then what we're in now is the next basically the next structure. And we've had, of this next structure, we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement. Now we're in an ABC, and then what comes next is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement. And the next target for me on that is 200K based on this structure. Why when you can is that tricky, Rick? Your question is tricky, so that goes into your name, Tricky Rick. I don't know what you're asking there. Why when you can buy a real company with earnings? Oh, okay. Now I understand. Again, companies with earnings aren't necessarily, you can see some companies with revenues with stuff that still go to zero. So it's not necessarily a better or worse strategy. I just go based off the charts. And there are a lot of, we'll cover this tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow because I want to show you guys how I analyze tokens on a fundamental basis. I think this will be very helpful for a lot of you. There's a website that you can go to. It's free to sign up, and you can see crypto projects like fundamentals. You can see how much they're making in revenue, how much user growth they have for their tokens, how much fees are they collecting. You can see like the fundamentals behind the project, and you can see their gross profit and see, okay, is it trending up? Boom, now I have the fundamentals for a token. It looks good based on these fundamentals. Now let's go look at the chart. And then boom, now I can see I combine the fundamentals with the technicals, and then it's a great investment. Justin Kelly said DeFi Llama. That's a good one. I use Token Terminal is the name of the one that I use. It's free and it's an easy like user interface. But it shows you all the gross profit, the revenue, the user growth. It shows you all the fundamentals behind it. And then you can be like, okay, I have the fundamentals. Now I go to the technicals, use Elliott Wave Theory, combine them both. Boom, now you have a winning strategy. What do you think of the cycle theory on Bitcoin? I don't really follow that. I only have one strategy, and it's Elliott Wave Theory. If I use anything different, it confuses me, and it kind of counteracts what I see. So I just purely stick to Elliott Wave Theory. I also don't really watch a lot of other creators or like get ideas from other creators because I want my stuff to be as authentic and as pure to myself as possible. So everything that I put out on socials is my own stuff. I don't look at other strategies. I don't look at, crypto TikTok to get ideas. I don't repurpose shit. Everything that I do is my own. I don't take credit from any other creator. Everything that I put out is me and my specific strategy. I think ETH will significantly outperform Bitcoin this cycle. Yeah, 100%. But for me, the next target on Ethereum is 7,500. So I think from my targets for the low, basically I'm looking at dollar cost average in Ethereum between like 1,700 and 1,400, and the next target for me is 7,500 for the mini wave 3. Then we'll get a pullback 4 and then a 5, which could put us towards like 8 to 10K. But my next target on Ethereum is around 7,500, which is like a 6x from these next lows, and I think Bitcoin from these lows to 200K is a 4x. So yes, I do agree that Bitcoin will outperform. 50x. Again, small percentage, just what we went through, John. The 1 to 5%, put that into like a V chain. 50% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, 10 to 15 in solid, strong, high market cap altcoins with good fundamentals, and then another 5% in just low cap shitters that could hit a 50x or 100x, but you're not going to lose all your portfolio if you put money in there. I agree with you about ETH gaining way more than Bitcoin. Yeah, Ethereum will outperform for sure. Solana is a 10x. Yeah, for me, Solana, the next bottom, we just looked at it a second ago. I think it was like $65, and the next target on Solana is around 560. So that is about, a 9-10x for sure. I'm going to answer one more question. I'm going to go eat because I'm late on dinner. I am famished. How high do you think Tau goes given the token? So my next, actually, I'll show that real quick and then I'll jump off because we did analyze Tau. Which chart was it? We did analyze Tau. I just got to find the chart. Where is the Tau chart? No, is it Tau USDT maybe? Shit. Which one is it? We analyzed Tau and now I can't find it. I did a video on Tau. Go back to my page. I did a video, I think, last week on Tau. I want to say my next targets for Tau is around $1,000. Don't quote me on that, or because I did a video on it. It is on my TikTok page, but I can't remember off the top of my head what the targets are. But I think it's around 1,000. Are your videos on YouTube to rewatch? Yes. So all the live streams, all the live streams that I do on TikTok are recorded on YouTube. So if you want to go and rewatch today's live stream, yesterday's, last week's, they're all recorded on my YouTube. And I also stream on Twitch and Kick as well, but just to have extra exposure for others that may want to join from Twitch or Kick. But I am going to be starting to do long form YouTube content. So analyzing specific stocks or specific cryptos and doing like a 10 to 15 minute video on it. So I have like, long time frame and short time frame, and then it will analyze it for like a 10 to 15 minute video. That I'll probably start tomorrow. I know that there was a lot of interest in that, saying like, hey, can you do some long form content on YouTube so I can go and watch the full analysis as opposed to just like, short clips on TikTok. So I am going to start doing that. All my socials like YouTube, Twitch, Kick, all that stuff. I made a Linktree account. It is in my TikTok bio. There's the link in the bio that has all my other socials on it. So if you want to go rewatch any of the lives, go to the YouTube channel through my Linktree there. And I will be putting out long form YouTube content as well. So I'll pick out like an MSTR, a Coinbase, a Bitcoin, an Ethereum, Solana, and I'll do a long form analysis on it, showing you what the current wave count is, what are the bottoming zones, what are the targets for the top, all that good stuff. Thank you later. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Justin said, thanks, man. I enjoy your content. Great stuff. I appreciate the support, Justin. I really do. It means a lot. Thank you. Enjoy your meal. Yeah, I'm going to go eat some tacos. I'm excited. Taco Tuesday, I guess. John Smith said, thank you, sir. Absolutely. Rashid, love you, bro. Love you too, bro. Love you too. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Comment on a video, shoot me a DM. Happy to answer them for you. Or I will be live tomorrow on, again, same time, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So kind of pick your choice. But we will be live tomorrow, and we're going to start with SCHD because Matt over on YouTube requested that. So we're going to start with that tomorrow. And if anything comes, again, I'll do my Bitcoin updates in the morning too. So if anything changes with the Bitcoin chart, I'll let you know. Special K said, thanks. Absolutely. Have a good night. You as well. Have a good night. What's up, Richard? What's going on? Have fun time with the wifey. Absolutely. Yeah, she already ate dinner, so I'm a little late, but I'm going to go enjoy some relaxing time, maybe put on a show, movie, something like that. But hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Let's see.